All right, looks like we are approaching 1 o'clock p.m. on the dot. Hello and good afternoon, everyone. My name is James Flagg. I am one of the outreach coordinators for CEDA of Cook County, and I will be your host today for today's CEDA Helps Home Weatherization Open House. We're extremely happy that you're taking time out of your day to join us, and we greatly appreciate your attention. But before we begin, I do want to send a very early and happy Veterans Day to all of the members of the armed forces and their family members joining us today. I also wanted to wish any of the U.S. Marine Corps brothers and sisters a very happy birthday as well, as November 10th is the day that the Marine Corps was founded. So just getting right into the presentation, again, hello and welcome to our CEDA Helps Weatherization Open House. If your heating and cooling bills are high, but your house is still not at a comfortable temperature, or if you've applied for home weatherization but haven't received any services yet, you are in the right place. Now, before we dive in, just a few housekeeping issues or items. If you haven't already, please share a little bit about yourself in our poll that should be popping up on your screen now. Our team is in the comments ready to chat it up with you along the way. So if you have any questions or comments, feel free to drop those in the chat and we'll address those later in the presentation. Also, we are recording this open house. So if you feel like you missed some information, don't worry. You'll be able to rewatch this presentation at any time on our website, www.cedaorg.net. And with that, we will be closing the poll in just a few seconds. So please get your responses in if you have not finished. And for those that have completed the poll, thank you very much. Your attention and your responses are greatly appreciated. All right, we're going to go ahead and close that poll up shortly. Okay. And before we jump into the agenda, we would just like to send a huge thank you to our corporate partner, Bright Healthcare, for making this presentation possible. In fact, we have a very special live Q&A coming up just next week with some of the folks from Bright Healthcare. Their health insurance experts will be here online to go over the Affordable Care Act insurance options and how to make the best choice for you and your family. We hope you'll join us. And if you want to attend, please check out the link that the team is going to drop in the chat now. Thank you, Bright Healthcare. Now, today we're going to go through the steps required for completing your weatherization application, one step at a time. First, what is home weatherization? Now, weatherizing a home makes it safer and more comfortable through various home improvements. Some of the weatherization improvements offered are sealing drafty areas in your home, insulating the attics, walls, basements, and crawl spaces, as well as repairing or replacing your heating systems. Now, before we walk through this application process, we want to get you ready and prepared to apply for services. This slide focuses on the income guidelines required for the program. Now, before we dive into the guidelines, I want to let you know that if you receive any type of disability benefits, whether it's Social Security, ABOD, VA, or TANF benefits, you automatically qualify for home weatherization services. Now, on the screen we're sharing is the guidelines table. Now, if your household is at or below the numbers listed here, you definitely qualify. So please consider applying for services. Now, on this table, you'll see that there's a listing for family size. That just equals the number of people residing in your home. So grandma, kids, anybody living with you at the time of your application, that is your family size. The gross income is your income that you receive to the household prior to taxes being taken out. For example, a family of 4 making a combined gross income under $52,400 will automatically qualify for services. Now, quick note, if your home has been weatherized in the past 15 years, you may not qualify, but no matter what, we want to encourage you to apply so our team can determine the best course of action for you and your household. One more thing to keep in mind, our new income guidelines will be released soon, and we'll be sharing those guidelines on our website. So please keep checking in with us at cedaorg.net for those updated guidelines and information. The next section is the identification that you will need to prepare for your application. Now we're going to cover a little bit of information here, but please keep in mind that you can find all of this information on our website. Again, that's www.cedarorg.net/WX/apply. And the team is going to drop that link in the chat if you wanted to view that website while you follow along today. Now back to the documentation that you'll need. First, you'll need either a state issued ID or a driver's license for the head of the household. You will also need proof of your social security numbers for all members of the household at the time of the application. That includes your social security card or a letter or printout from the Social Security Agency. And you could get yours by clicking on the following link or visiting Social Security at ssa.gov/my-account. Also, you can use any other government issued identification showing your name and social security number to apply. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that tax returns do not count. So please do not send us any of your tax information or tax return information. It will not help you in applying for weatherization services. Now, the next section is just briefly describes what you will need to send us to start the process. As you can see on the screen, you can send us your most recent ComEd bill, your People's Gas or Night Court bills. And we have provided a few examples of what those bills look like on the slide for your viewing. So please prepare those when you're getting ready to apply. Now, there's a lot of information that we're going to cover here regarding proof of income, but don't worry. All of this information is listed on our website, which we're going to drop in the chat again now. You're more than welcome to go back and forth between the website to review this information at any time. Now, your proof of income documents should cover the 90 days prior to when you apply for services. Proof of income must be provided for all household members ages 18 years or older. And as you can see on the screen, the following items count as income. Your earned wages, which is check stubs with your name, your gross check amount, as well as a pay date. And you can see an example of that slide, an example of what we need on this slide here. For those that are unemployed or collecting unemployment benefits, we do need a statement from the Illinois Department of Employment Security or IDES. If you are self-employed, for example, if you're a Lyft driver or maybe an Uber driver, we would just need documented proof of your income from those services and 30 days of receipts. If you do collect monthly benefits, as I mentioned before, disability, whether it's SSA, SSI, VA, pension, TANF, we will just need a copy of your award letter from DHS or the Department of Human Services. And then those that have any additional income, whether it's business ventures on the side or including your rental income, you will need to provide that information in order to complete your application as well. And for those that earn zero income or have no income at all, you will be asked to fill out our zero income affidavit. This document is available on that website, and you can find that at the same link that we've been adding to the chat. And just to be on the safe side, we'll go ahead and add that to the chat right now. Moving right along, we will just need to see that you own proof of the home, or see proof that you own the home. Now, you can give us any one of the following documents: a current property tax bill, which you can see on the slide, a mortgage statement, or a recorded deed with the seal. And for those that do happen to live in mobile homes, all we would need to see is a mobile home title. Now, there are a number of documents that we do not accept for your application. Those are bank statements, any reverse mortgage documents, a recorded deed without the seal, or any type personal letters. So please keep that in mind when we're verifying home ownership, the documents that you can and cannot use to apply. So in a nutshell, that's everything that you need to get together before you call us to start the application process. As a recap, the 4 items that you need are a picture ID and social security proof for everyone in the household, your most recent gas and light bills, proof of your 90-day income, and lastly, proof of home ownership. And from that point, I think the next step is just to go right ahead and apply. How to apply, you ask? The best bet is just to give us a call. Now, we do have partner intake sites located throughout the Chicagoland area. All of these partner sites will help you navigate the weatherization application. You can find the closest intake site to your location by visiting www.cedarorg.net/sites. Now we're going to drop that link in the chat as well, just so you can review it while we're going through the presentation. Now, after you select your, after you apply at your intake site, you have 15 days to send in your documents. And there are 3 ways that your documents can be sent in. You could use the email that you see on the slide here, docrequestwx@cedarorg.net. You may also fax your documents in to the number on the screen, 312-795-1260, or you may mail your documents in with your name and address to CEDA, Attention Weatherization Department, and the address listed on the slide is 567 West Lake Street. That's Chicago, Illinois, 60661. And just like that, that is all of the documents or requirements that you need in order to start your application. Now, of course, if you do have additional questions or comments about the application process, we want you to drop those into the chat. Our team is collecting them right now so we could discuss them shortly in our question and answer session. In the meantime, let's discuss a few common reasons why your weatherization application is denied. And here to walk us through those common questions and reasons is none other than our client relations manager for the weatherization program, Ms. Carrie Merrills. Hey, good afternoon, Carrie. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Good afternoon, everyone. I am glad to be here today to answer some of your questions.
Yes, ma'am.
First, let's dive into the most common reasons applications are denied. Some of the common reasons why your applications are denied is a problem with proof of ownership documentation. Usually, this is a mismatch of information. The property has to be listed in your legal name. Also, the property and your mailing address must match. Another reason is individuals have not submitted all of their proof of income documents. Remember, we need to see 90 days proof of income for all household members that's 18 years old or older. While this next reason isn't one, and we do not go into great discussion, it is important that if you are applying to weatherize a 2 to 4 unit home, all units need to apply through CEDA.
Hey, that's fantastic information. And as you just heard, Carrie just mentioned some of the common reasons for denial. And it's important for you as the viewers to know and understand what you can do to avoid having your application being denied. So next, we're going to discuss some of the frequently asked questions that we receive from our clients and viewers regarding home weatherization. Carrie, are you okay with going over some of the questions now?
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect. So we have some on the screen. The first question you see is, what do I do if I was denied?
That is a great question. If you have been denied, you should have received a letter from CEDA stating the reasons why the application was denied. If it was you're missing documentations, you can submit your documents to DocRequestWX, that's DocRequestWX @cedarorg.net. And that way you can upload your information or the missing documentation straight to weatherization. Or if you would like, you can fax us at 312-795-1260. If you're over income, if the denial letter states that you're over income, you can reapply if your financial status changed or your household membership family size also changes.
All right, and thank you very much for that information. I hope you guys are paying attention because that's a lot of great information for those of you that have experienced or received a denial letter. The next question on the screen is, can you replace my roofs or repair my windows? Excuse me, can you replace my windows or repair my roof? Sorry about that.
And that is a very common question that we receive here in weatherization. However, our program does not replace windows or repair roofs. For some context, this is because the other improvements, as James mentioned earlier, will give you more bang for your buck. Roofing and window replacements is very expensive and doesn't always address the cause of a cold home. Insulating and sealing drafts is a much more effective and efficient way of keeping your home at a comfortable temperature.
All right, thank you very much for that answer. And the last frequently asked question is, after I'm approved, when can I expect my home to be weatherized?
Great, thanks, James. We weatherize homes based upon a priority system, not on a first come, first served basis. Homes with children, elderly individuals, or disabled individuals are at the top of our priority list. Our team will call you to start the process as soon as we can, which could be a few months after you are approved. You have been approved. And again, if you've been approved, you should also receive a letter in the mail from CEDA.
Greatly appreciate the information, Carrie. Again, I'm sure there are a ton of questions. I see the chat blowing up, but thank you for sharing that insight and your knowledge. To all of your viewers, again, if we didn't address your question now, please drop it in the chat. We're going to take the remainder of the time just to go, and address some of your personal questions. If Carrie's okay, I'm going to ask her to stick around for a few minutes just to answer some of those questions. Is that okay, Carrie?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. Well, it looks like we are ready to start answering some of those questions now. So I'll just go through the list and see what we have here. So it looks like we have a viewer who asked, my mother does not have a social security number, but she does have an ITIN or an ITIN number, which is equivalent to a social security number. Do we still qualify for weatherization services?
Unfortunately, we do not accept ITIN numbers for weatherization. However, they can, if they have something from the Social Security Administration, they can use that information to submit with their application.
Okay, great. And just a reminder, everyone in the household will need to submit a copy of their social security numbers, and this can be a social security card or any documentation from the Social Security Administration. But thank you very much for that great question. Thank you, Carrie, for a response. Just moving right along, we have another question. What information goes under the section of the zero income affidavit that says, I met my financial obligations during this period by? Is this information to IDES? I was previously receiving unemployment benefits.
Oh, that's a great question. This would be a family member or friend that is providing financial support to you. If you are receiving unemployment, we would need to see 90 days of your IDES stubs. We consider the income you're receiving and you received during the 90-day prior to application for weatherization. If you need assistance on completing the zero income affidavit, you can send us an email at wxcustomerservice@cedarorg.net. That's wxcustomerservice@cedarorg.net.
Thank you so much for that, Carrie. And thank you, viewer, for that question. Just moving right along, the next question is, I live in Linwood, Illinois, and I was told that my area is not covered for weatherization services. Any reason why?
Linwood appears to be on the state line.
Okay.
Therefore, if you live in Linwood and your home is in Cook County, then you are eligible to apply for our program.
Thank you very much for that, Carrie. And that is a great point. With us being CEDA of Cook County, we do only service the Chicagoland and suburban Cook County area. If by chance you live outside of Cook County, there are community action agencies just like CEDA that are represented or housed in the county that you may live in. So if you live outside of Cook County and you still are interested in requesting services offered, similar services that CEDA offers, please contact us. We would love to connect you with your local community action agency so you can get those services as well. All right, and moving right along, Ms. Carrie, I see another question that says, I currently have a radiator on one level of a 2-flat and heaters that are non-compliant, which I did not know until the inspector came. Is there any assistance available in replacing these to make them legal?
Oh, wonderful question. It is possible that radiators may qualify as a part of the heating system replacement or may be addressed as a health and safety item. If there are any unvented space heaters in the home per state regulations, those must be removed from the dwelling before weatherization can begin. Our assessors are happy to come out to take a look at your application your home once it has been approved. That would mean you will receive a call from our scheduling department.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, as we mentioned earlier, when in doubt, feel free to give us a call. We would love to have our staff come out and not only assess the situation, but provide you with guidance on how to navigate that situation as well. And these are some great questions, very unique, and hopefully you're getting the information that you're looking for today. But just moving right along, we have another round of great questions, Carrie. So the next one is, what if the tax bill is in your husband or your spouse's name and he or she is deceased?
Well, to answer that, it is really easy to change the name on your tax bill. You can go to the Cook County Treasurer and look up the information, look up your tax bill, and then there will be an option to update your information. Another option would be to send in the husband's death certificate if you're comfortable with that.
Okay. Thank you very much for that question, viewer. And just to reiterate, and we'll try to drop this link in the chat. If you can visit the cookcountytreasurer.com, search perimeters to look up that tax bill, and there will be an option for you to update your information. So thank you again for that question, and thank you so much for the great reply, Carrie. All right, just moving down to the next question. Please keep those questions coming in. I have a 2-flat, but only one unit is occupied. Can I still apply for weatherization services on both units?
Yes, the intake type, once you go into the intake site or our partner site that will be taking your application, they should complete your application, and then they should complete an application that says that is for the vacant unit. And you will need to, even though the unit is vacant, you will need to submit a universal signature page for that, as well as the tax form, excuse me, not the tax, the current copy of the ComEd or NICOR and People's Gas bill.
Okay, and just to confirm, send a copy of that current bill as well as that universal signature page, and we should be able to assist. Thank you guys. These questions are fantastic, very diverse, and it looks like someone is asking for the home weatherization coordinator's email. Can you provide that information, Carrie? It says, can you share the home weatherization coordinator's email?
The home weatherization coordinator's email. Can I get back to you with that?
Yeah, no problem. We'll get back to it. I must
okay.
I
want to just verify it before I give it out.
Perfect. Completely understood. So, viewer, if you're waiting on that answer, give us a few moments, and we will drop that in the chat, and we'll have Carrie blast that out for you guys. All right. So moving along, the next question is, when is the best time to apply for weatherization?
Very good question. CEDA weatherization is open all year long. We encourage you to apply as soon as you are able to go into our intake sites to submit your weatherization application.
Perfect. Thank you for that. So basically, there is no wrong time to apply for weatherization. So if you feel like you need those services, please give us a call or send us an email right away. We would love to come out and assess your home. So moving right along, we have another regional question.
Excuse me, James. Oh, I have the answer to the
previous question.
Yes, the previous question. We can send any questionnaires to the WX customer service at cedaror.net. You can send all of your specific questions and then we will get it to the right person. That is our general Weatherization's customer service email address.
Perfect. I do see that, and we'll try to drop it in the chat if it's not there. But just to reiterate, that's wxcustomerservice@cedarorg.net. As Carrie mentioned, just message us with that question and we'll get you in touch with the right person that could field or address those questions. And we're happy to have staff respond to your emails as well, so you're getting a subject matter expert on that response. So thank you again for your question. Thank you for your patience. All right, so going back to that regional question that I mentioned earlier, one of our viewers says a 60411 zip code has no weatherization help. CEDA has advised that it is not. Can you explain, why that may be, Carrie?
Zip code 60411 is also on the state line. So again, if it's in Cook County, then you would be able to apply. If not, we can help assist you with some of our other agencies that handle those counties that are outside of Cook County.
Perfect. Yeah, and that's a great point to reiterate, especially from our viewers that are calling in from outside of Cook County or around the state. So CEDA is a part of a network of community action agencies. And to my knowledge, there are 42 counties in the state of Illinois, and each county has its own CEDA type of organization or community action agency. So if you are in Indiana, or if you're in Lake County or DuPage County, feel free to call us. We would love to connect you with your local agency and help you get connected with services. All right, I am skipping down to one of the questions that's completed. It says, if you apply and it takes months to get the services, do you have to reapply again at the time of service? Here, let me read that again. If you apply and it takes months to get service, do you have to reapply at the time of the service?
No. Once an application is approved, it is valid for an entire year from that date. If a year has passed and we have not been able to weatherize your home, we would request an updated income for your household. As long as your household was still income eligible, you would not need to reapply and your application would remain in our system for another year.
So perfect. So from a year from the date that your application is accepted, our clients have up until that time frame to apply for services, and they will not be required to reapply as long as the household is still income eligible.
That is correct.
Okay, great. That is great information. And just looks like I skipped over a question. I apologize. But if the next one is, if you're in a single home, a single level home, if you're in a single level home, can weatherization be done underneath the home through the crawl space? So it sounds like somebody's in a single level home and they're asking if weatherization will help with crawl space work.
Great question. We appreciate, and again, we appreciate all of these questions. Crawl space insulation is something that can be done through weatherization. Our assessors will take a look at the home once approved for the service and can assess the home and will assess the home at that time.
Okay, great. So the short answer to that is yes. And all you need to do is just give us a call and we would love to start you on that weatherization journey, or at least start your application process. Moving right along to the next question. One of our viewers says, I got approved for CEDA before and they took over a year and told me that I need to reapply, but I didn't, and I didn't hear back again. What should I do next?
Sorry that you didn't receive any information from us. You can email us at the wxcustomerservice@cedarorg.net, and we can look up your address and information and give you the most accurate answer. However, in most cases, if you did not get weatherized and you did not receive a letter asking you to update your income, then yes, you would need to reapply.
Okay, and again, that's a great question. I do hear that quite a bit when I'm out in the field. We understand, life may happen, and you may have missed that communication, or you didn't see any communication. Again, feel free to reach out to our weatherization team at that email in the chat, wxcustomerservice@cedarorg.net. But again, if you did not get your home weatherized within that 1 year period, and you didn't get a letter to ask you to update your income, then you will need to reapply for services. So please keep that in mind. But again, always message us or call us just to confirm that information. And we're getting some great questions today, Carrie. You ready for a few more?
Sure, let's go for it.
All right, all right. So I have a very, very specific question that asks, is the weatherization program different from the furnace program? And it sounds like they may be referring to LIHEAP with that.
Absolutely. So the simple answer to that is yes, it is a difference between the weatherization and the LIHEAP program. The furnace program only addresses the heating system of the house. Weatherization addresses or installs measures such as the insulation, the air sealing, and health and safety items. So we try to address the home as a whole, whereas the furnace deals with the heating system only.
Okay. So just so you know, for the listeners and viewers out there, weatherization and LIHEAP, although they offer similar services, there are those are two very distinct and specific programs. So please keep that in mind when you're applying for services. And if you do need assistance with LIHEAP, please give us a call. We would love to connect you with our team over in the LIHEAP department. All right, and moving right along, Ms. Carrie, the next question is, are entrance doors included in the weatherization program?
Doors are not typically covered by weatherization because it is not one of the items that saves most energy in the home. However, our assessors will take a look at each home for unique circumstances.
Okay, fantastic. So again, just going back to the question previously about windows, doors as well, they aren't typically covered by weatherization. But again, please give us a call. We would love to have our assessors look at that and then evaluate what steps can be taken from that point. So thank you again for that question. That is a very common question that we get asked as well. And here's another common question that we get, or a not so common question. My attic has a baseboard heater. Can this be changed or repaired?
I know you are going to think that we're saying the same thing, but once your home is approved, our assessors will need to take a look at the specific heating unit to see if it can be replaced as an energy saving measure or health and safety measure. It is possible. Again, unvented space heaters would need to be removed prior to weatherization per state policy.
That is another good point to add. Thank you so much for that question and the response, Carrie. We have a few more coming in, so I'll just keep rolling right through the questions. We have a visitor or a viewer who asks, how do you calculate your annual income using the 90-day income? Earlier this year, my hours were drastically reduced.
Oh, wow, that's a very good question. We do look at the 90 days of the check stubs from the 90 days immediately before your application date, and we multiply it by 4, and we count the gross income amount. So if you are, let me see how I can put this. If your income was drastically reduced, still submit the 90 days. Because we use the gross amount, we will take all the ones that you've submitted, the 90 days, the gross, regardless of the amount of hours, and then we will multiply it by 4 to come up with what your income is.
Perfect. That's a great solution. So again, yeah, I think the easiest or most simplest thing is, get that information in front of our team members. They'll be able to assess you on the spot. And then if there are any, modifications or any special circumstances, we will be able to work with you to see if we can provide services. So yeah, always, either reach out to us via phone or via that email address. We are happy to assist and field any of the questions or requests that you have. It looks like we have a LIHEAP customer asking a question. if I have CEDA or if I've received CEDA services for utilities, do I have to reapply or apply for weatherization as well?
The simple answer to that is yes. Light heat and weatherization are different programs and require different application. Your local intake site will be able to take your weatherization application.
And that is a great question. One of the things I do note is that the program requirements for weatherization and light heat are very similar, but as Carrie mentioned, there are two different application processes. So if you have received light heat, fantastic, that's great. You know, your information is already in our system, but you will still need to contact one of your local intake sites to initiate or start that weatherization application. So thank you so much for being a loyal CEDA customer. If you need weatherization, we will be happy to service you. So please apply right away. All right, looks like we got a question for basements. Can the weatherization program insulate a basement in a family home?
The simple answer to that is yes. Insulation is a common measure we install. It is possible that insulation can be installed in certain areas of the basement. We look at the entire home and determine which measures qualify for replacement based on an energy model.
Hey, fantastic. So yes, the short answer is yes, any insulation, whether it's basements, attics, or crawl spaces, if you feel like you need those services, please give our weatherization department a call. Again, we would be happy to assist your home and your family members. Looks like we have another question that came in. Says we mentioned earlier that the income guidelines will be updated. Do you know when we will be able to see this change, and will the income be more flexible?
Great question. We typically receive our updated income guidelines in June or July of every year. If they have not been updated, we will be certain to get those updated on our site for you. We cannot be sure if or how the income guidelines will change. Our guidelines are based on federal poverty guidelines.
That is a great question, and a great point to add is, you know, just monitor our website or our social media channels. We are sure to, you know, post that information as soon as possible. As from, you know, last year's program year to this year, those income levels have increased. It's not a guarantee that they're going to increase again, but that does allow more people to apply. So I think that refers to the flexibility that the user mentioned. So please check our website and our social media channels frequently. As we receive those updated income guidelines, we'll be sure to put that out publicly so you guys you know the best time to apply. All right, so thank you. These questions are great. It looks like we're coming down to the end of the questioning. The next one is, so if I have illegal heating sources on 2 units, then will it be best applying for furnace program versus weatherization? Let me try and read that again. So if I have illegal heating sources on 2 units, will it be best applying for furnace program versus weatherization? And then the client says, thank you for all your help answering these great questions.
We appreciate your feedback. Thank you so much. We would suggest that you apply for both programs at the same time. The intake sites are able to take applications for all CEDA programs. If furnace was able to fix your heating system, then weatherization would be able to install the other measures. Weatherization can take up to a year from start to finish, and so we would encourage you to apply as soon as you can.
Yep, and if you guys are hearing that reoccurring theme, sounds like the goal is just to apply as soon as possible, and then we will have our subject matter experts or our technicians, you know, review that application and provide you with the next steps or the best information so you could proceed. It looks like we have a few more coming in, and I can go to some of those planted questions, you know, just to allow time for our team to answer. I do have the first question, Carrie, is what do I do if I filled out the pre-application at Help Illinois Family, but I haven't heard anything back yet?
Great question. If you filled out the pre-application and expressed interest in the weatherization program, you will receive a letter in the mail within a month detailing how to complete the weatherization application. The pre-application is not an application for weatherization. Let me repeat.
Great
The
point.
pre-application is not an application for weatherization. You will still have to go into an intake site to apply and then send in the required documents via email, fax, or traditional mail.
That is a great question, and I know a lot of our viewers who are impacted by COVID and can't physically go into the intake sites. They began using that pre-application document, but as Carrie mentioned, that is not an application for services. That is just an online sheet to store your information. So again, if you have applied on the pre-app, you should receive a letter in the mail or a confirmation email shortly after showing you how to complete the weatherization application, as well as upload those documents. But you still will have to communicate or visit an intake site to apply and get those documents in via fax or email or traditional mail. So thank you for those that that have used that pre-application service. You just know that there are a few extra steps that you need to take in order to complete your application. And Carrie, sticking with some of the planet questions, I see one that says, I applied, how do I find the status of my application?
We spoke on this briefly earlier, but you will receive an eligibility letter in the mail within 30 days. And if you have not, you can contact the partner intake site where your application was completed or call us at 1-800-571-2332.
Okay, perfect. And then moving right along, I think we got a similar question to this earlier, but I'll ask this one again. What if the property is not in my name? It's a house that myself and my ex bought, but I'm the one living there.
That is a very great question and common as well. The person who lives in the home will need to show proof of ownership with his or her name on it. If the home is in another person's name, please contact us at wxcustomerservice@cedarorg.net, and we will do our best to assist you with the application process.
Okay, great. And just rolling right through the list, I see we still have a few more questions and answers coming in. So I'll work off the planet list, Carrie. We have a user or a client asking, if I had to upload paperwork, how much longer does it take to be approved from my original application?
It can take up to 30 days to process your paperwork. That is our standard across the board.
Okay, so yeah, so if you guys have applied and you are required, just know that it'll be a little additional time to get that paperwork, for us to receive and then process that paperwork. However, it shouldn't take longer than 30 days. If it has been past 30 days, again, please give us a call or message us at that WX customer service email, and we would love to provide you with some assistance. Now, this is another great question, one of the planet questions, Carrie. How do I know if my house has been weatherized in the past?
That is a very great question. CEDA has been doing weatherization for about 40 years and has records of past weatherization projects. Also, if your heating system has been replaced under weatherization program, a CEDA sticker may be attached to the system. The best way to find out if your home has been previously weatherized is to reach out with a specific address and we can look it up for you. You can email the weatherization team directly at the WX customer service at cedarorg.net.
That is a great question, and we probably should have highlighted that sooner. But I know a lot of our users want to know, how do we find out if our homes have been weatherized? Carrie, thank you so much for the great information. It looks like we're going to go back to some of those live questions. So let me just get my bearings, and I'll start where, let's see. Looks like the 21st question. Do you need to pay anything back after you qualify for weatherization services?
Absolutely not. There is no cost to homeowners in single family homes or 2 to 4 unit buildings. Let me repeat, for single family homes or 2 to 4 unit buildings, there is absolutely no costs.
Okay, so that is something to keep in mind. There is no cost to you as a user. And I'll just reiterate it, if you are a homeowner or a single family, homeowner of a single family home, or if you're in a 2 to 4 unit building, if by chance you do live in a building that has more than 5 units, we can still provide services. Again, please call us directly or email us, and we would love to help service your multifamily building, which is any facility with more than 5 units. Looks like we got a very specific question that says, good afternoon, my name is Erica. Hi, Erica. And I'm already listed on the pending weatherization list for a year already. I did receive a call about a month ago and was promised a call back to schedule a home visit, but I haven't heard back since that last call. What can I do? Looks like number 20 to 20.
Thank you, Erica. Oh, sorry about that, James. Thanks, Erica. And I'm glad you're asking this specific question because it probably can help someone else. Please reach out to us at the WX customer service at cedarorg.net, and we will be able to look up your information and provide you with an answer.
Again, and I think we've said this plenty of times, definitely reach out to us, especially if you feel like you haven't received any correspondence or maybe you missed correspondence. Please give us a call. Please message us on social media. Also email us. Our staff is willing and ready to assist you and help you get your house service for whatever, for your weatherization needs. So great question, Erica. Thank you so much for asking on behalf of the group. And we do have a few more questions coming in, Carrie. How you holding up? We got time for
I'm doing good.
All right.
I'm willing to stick with you.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much. The next question is, I must first apply and be eligible for LIHEAP program before being allowed to apply for the furnace program, correct? If so, is that true for the weatherization program? It sounds like a LIHEAP specific question where you typically need to apply for LIHEAP before you can enroll in the furnace program. Does that compare, or how does that compare to the weatherization program?
So to answer the first part of her question, that is something that we need to direct directly to LIHEAP program, their energy services program, so that they can answer it correctly for her. And we can give you that information on how to get in touch with them also. But to answer the second part, if so, is it true for weatherization program? You do not have to apply for LIHEAP or furnace prior to applying for weatherization.
That is a great point. And I just want to reiterate that again, LIHEAP and weatherization are 2 separate programs, even though, there are similarities when dealing with your furnace. But as Ms. Merrills mentioned, you do not have to apply for LIHEAP or the furnace program prior to applying for weatherization. You could apply for weatherization independent of LIHEAP or energy services. But again, if you do have questions on the LIHEAP furnace program, please message us, please call us. We would love to put you in contact with one of our team members from our energy services or our LIHEAP program team. So again, great question. Thank you so much for asking it. And just rolling right along to the next question. It says, so if I have already completed the pre-application, can I still just call an intake site to finish my application?
Yes, please contact an intake site to apply for weatherization, even if you have completed the pre-application.
Fantastic.
Because again, it's not really a pre-application, it is a question informational that we use.
Yep, that's a great point. Again, it's not an application, filling out the pre-app sheet. That's just a way to garner information to set you up or connect you with the appropriate department so you can apply. So great question. We're happy that you filled out that pre-app, but please contact the weatherization department or our intake sites if you've already completed the pre-application, so you can resume the process of uploading documents and successfully completing your application. Looks like we have a timeline weatherization timing question. It says, if you have received weatherization in 2013, are you now able to apply?
Simply put, yes. If a home was previously weatherized in 2003, it will now be eligible for to be re-weatherized. Any home from a program year, our program year 2006, and before would be eligible this year for weatherization. If you are uncertain about when your home was weatherized, please reach out to us. You can again send us your information to our WX customer service at cedarorg.net.
Perfect. And then I'll just add, please send us a message on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, as well as LinkedIn. And as Ms. Merrills mentioned, any home from a program year 2006 and before would be eligible this year for weatherization. So again, if your home was weatherized in 2003, it would now be eligible for re-weatherization services. And it looks like we've come to the end of the questions from the audience. I definitely want to thank you, Carrie, for your time and your insight and just, all the information that you provided us and our viewers today. Specifically to the viewers, thank you for your time and energy and joining us. We definitely appreciate, all of the, the questions and the feedback that we've received. Before we do go, we want to give another huge shout out to our corporate partner, Bright Healthcare, for making this event possible. Seriously, you guys, if you have any questions about the Affordable Care Act or any health insurance related questions, please join us next Monday at 11 a.m. We will be back on Zoom live to engage you and field your questions about the Affordable Care Act and any of your insurance needs or requirements. And just lastly, before we depart, we have shared a lot of information with everyone today. Please don't forget to visit us at cedarorg.net for more information. If you have an opportunity to do so, please share this information with one of your neighbors or your loved ones. You never know what type of need people may have, and some of the information that you heard today may be able to help someone out in a very tough or uncomfortable situation. Again, our website is www.cedarorg.net, and we hope to hear from you soon, if not via phone or email, online at our Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, or Instagram accounts, which you can see on this slide. So thank you again for your time this afternoon. Very happy Veterans Day to all of my vets out there, and happy birthday to my Marine Corps veterans. Thank you again for your time, and please be safe in your travels. Have a great afternoon.